In the annals of history, few periods are as dark and devastating as the era of Nazi Germany. From 1933 to 1945, under the absolute rule of Adolf Hitler, Germany was transformed into a totalitarian state that unleashed a world war and perpetrated unimaginable atrocities, including the Holocaust. This is the story of how one man's rise to power led to the death of millions and left a permanent scar on the conscience of humanity. The story begins in the aftermath of World War I. Germany, defeated and humiliated by the Treaty of Versailles, was crippled by economic reparations and political instability. The Weimar Republic, Germany's new democracy, struggled to cope. When the Great Depression hit in 1929, the fragile economy collapsed, plunging millions into unemployment and poverty. It was in this climate of desperation and national resentment that extremist movements found fertile ground. The National Socialist German Workers' Party, or Nazi Party, led by the charismatic and ruthless Adolf Hitler, skillfully exploited this misery. Promising to restore Germany's greatness, provide jobs, and identify scapegoats for the nation's problems, primarily Jewish people, the Nazis' popularity surged. On January 30, 1933, in a fateful political miscalculation by the ruling elite who believed they could control him, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. He wasted no time in consolidating his power. Within months, a fire at the Reichstag, the German parliament building, was used as a pretext to suspend civil liberties. Political opponents were arrested, other parties were banned, and Germany became a one-party dictatorship. Following the death of President Paul von Hindenburg in 1934, Hitler merged the offices of Chancellor and President, declaring himself the Führer und Reichskanzler, the sole leader of Germany. His word became law. Under Hitler, Germany was rapidly Nazified. The regime sought to control every aspect of life. Propaganda, masterminded by Joseph Goebbels, permeated society, glorifying Hitler and the Nazi ideology. Youth were indoctrinated through the Hitler Youth, taught to be loyal only to the Führer. Dissent was ruthlessly crushed by the Gestapo, the secret state police. The Nazi ideology was built on a foundation of extreme nationalism, militarism, and a twisted theory of racial purity. The Nazis believed in the supremacy of the Aryan race and sought Lebensraum, or living space, for the German people in Eastern Europe. This ideology was inherently anti-Semitic, blaming Jews for all of Germany's woes. The persecution of Jewish people began almost immediately. They were systematically stripped of their rights, their businesses were boycotted, and they were subjected to increasing violence, culminating in the Kristallnacht, or Night of Broken Glass, in 1938, a brutal pogrom across Germany. This was just the beginning of the horrors to come. Emboldened by a lack of international opposition, Hitler began his aggressive territorial expansion. In 1938, Germany annexed Austria in the Anschluss, followed by the Sudetenland region of Czechoslovakia. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland, an act of aggression that finally triggered the outbreak of World War II. The war, which would last for 6 long years, engulfed the globe. Initially, the German Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, achieved stunning victories across Europe. But as the war raged on, the Nazi regime implemented its final solution to the Jewish question, a plan for the systematic genocide of all European Jews. This was the Holocaust. Millions of Jews, along with other groups deemed undesirable, including Roma, homosexuals, disabled individuals, and political prisoners, were transported to concentration camps and extermination camps like Auschwitz. In these factories of death, an estimated 6 million Jews were murdered in gas chambers, through starvation or by brutal forced labor. The tide of the war began to turn against Germany with its disastrous invasion of the Soviet Union and the entry of the United States into the war. The Allied invasion of Normandy on D-Day, June 6, 1944, signaled the beginning of the end for the Third Reich. As Allied forces closed in from the west and Soviet troops advanced from the east, the German war machine crumbled. In the final days of the war, with Soviet soldiers fighting in the streets of Berlin, Adolf Hitler committed suicide in his bunker on April 30, 1945. Days later, on May 8, 1945, Germany surrendered unconditionally, ending the war in Europe. The Third Reich, which Hitler had boasted would last 1,000 years, had collapsed after just 12. It left behind a continent in ruins and a legacy of unparalleled horror. The Nuremberg trials sought to bring the architects of this devastation to justice. establishing new precedents for international law on war crimes and crimes against humanity. The story of Nazi Germany and Adolf Hitler serves as a chilling and eternal warning of the dangers of unchecked power, hateful ideology, and the fragility of civilization itself.